In this video, we're going to take a look at making the wing tee more dynamic. It's a video put out on Chiefpigskin by Mr. Chiefpigskin himself, so to speak, Nate Elbaugh. I think the video, more than the wing tee, it is talking about making your scheme more dynamic and really the process that probably most coaches should go through when you're trying to make your scheme, whether it's offensive or defensive, better. Coach Elbaugh does a great job of relating how Oregon's spread offense, when they had Marcus Mariota, how looking into that and some of the advantages he felt it gave Oregon, how he was able to incorporate very similar ideas, but within the wing tee offense that he was already running. And I just think that kind of thinking, that's what ultimately I stumbled upon Film Friday, and why I really, really enjoy watching stuff put out by either Coach Elbaugh or all the coaches on Chiefpigskin. I mean, that's the name of the game as coaches, is us constantly trying to improve ourselves so that way we can help the student athletes we're coaching be as successful as possible. Because when they're more successful, they're going to believe everything we're trying to teach them through this game of football. And again, that's the name of the game. Whether you're subscribing to Chiefpigskin YouTube channel to learn, whether you're somebody who's been a member of the online clinic, whether you're going to Glazier clinics or your state's clinic, it's all about improving. And I think by and large, you improve the most when you have your core system, the things you really, really believe in, but you're always studying what's that one thing that maybe makes us a little bit better from every single presentation you ever sit down and watch and take notes on. And that's ultimately what the 5-part video series that Coach Elbaugh put out, that's what it does. It really shows the process to grow as a football coach. So I think it's worth checking out. Stick around. Let's dive into it.
So if you've checked my channel before, you probably know who Nate Elbaugh is. This is from when he was head coach at Champaign Central. And I wanted to check it out because I enjoyed all of Coach Elbaugh's season 2 of Film Friday. Just every Film Friday, it felt like a little mini clinic where Coach Elbaugh would talk about one idea really, really in depth. And you'd walk away learning that one thing you always hope to learn from a clinic presentation. And this presentation is all about how, when he was at Champaign Central, how they made their wing tee more dynamic, more effective. And it started off him and another wing tee coach. They studied Oregon back 2014, 2015, the time Marcus Mariota's there, and identified what makes the Oregon offense at that time, and really all offenses, effective. They did it at that time. Oregon stretched the field really, really well, both horizontally, making the defense defend sideline to sideline, and vertically, with typically some sort of play action or some sort of deep pass set up by a short pass or some sort of play action. They didn't give the defense a lot of time to change personnel with their tempo. At the same time, they didn't give the defense a lot of time to adjust to formations because, again, they're going fast. And they use complementary plays on the same drive to set each other up, and ultimately, a lot of times, have a really big play on a drive that made the play go really fast, and then obviously just that tempo overall. So he talks about how he incorporated that into the wing tee offense he was the head coach of at the time. Decided there was going to be a way that they could reduce the amount of time that a formation can be checked to by a defense. Ended up reducing some of the extras in the playbook to really focus on complementary plays. Put a very big emphasis on stretching the field horizontally, and it wasn't hopping the gun and throw a bubble. As you'll see, it ultimately is rocket within the wing tee. Talked about having fewer complementary plays to stretch the field, and just wanted to keep on having that vertical attack. So one of the things that I think is really unique, coach said they didn't start going like faster pace or anything. They had a very unique way of huddling. He has a great graphic, if you take time and check out the whole video, of showing how with the unique way that they huddle, which is on the screen here, they're able to have their own sense of tempo, in that a defense is not going to have a lot of time to check to a formation, whether they're matching numbers of personnel. And this reminded me of Nick Saban talked about, really it's in his last ball game coached against Michigan in the Rose Bowl back in 2024. how Michigan huddling was slightly more challenging for the defenders. They have less time to recognize the formation if offense is breaking a huddle, and that really resonated with myself. He ended up deciding to cut the excess in the offense, and counter crisscross is his big play that he really likes, and pointed out in 2014 they only ran it 10 times, and in a 9 or 10 game season, the amount of time that takes to become good at counter crisscross, that he felt like that just wasn't enough. And ultimately, in a very successful 2015 season where I believe they were state semifinalists, they ran it for a 10-yard per carry average. Then he talks about Rocket. And this on its own, Coach Elbaugh's talked extensively about race and skate from Gordon Elliott at Auburn in Washington. This on its own is like that one nugget that you're hoping to get from a presentation if you've never heard Coach Elbaugh explain race skate. Check this out, just for this part. But that's how they ultimately stretched the field horizontally. And then they talk about stretching the field vertically. Wanted to have vertical threat plays within a wing T offense. Talked about, obviously, the pass protection. That's something that wing T teams maybe sometimes struggle at. And by reducing the number of excess plays and getting really focused on making this a priority, became really effective. He provides some great coaching points on how to make sure you're spending enough time developing your quarterback in a wing T, a run-oriented offense with his gather and gain. And I'm sure he borrowed this from some coach, and he'll go over that, but does a great job of explaining how to coach up the quarterback and make sure the quarterback's emphasizing the ability to throw vertical. And then lastly, goes over their vertical game. So check this video out, because number one, it is a great example of growing as a ball coach from off-season study and analysis. I don't think coaches benefit when they completely change their system. There's a time and place probably for that, but if you've been working with a group of guys, both a coaching staff and a group set of student athletes, like usually making a couple small adjustments is the thing that gets you over the hump, outside of, developing in the off season their, speed, strength, all that stuff. Check this out. Obviously, if you're interested in the wing T, I think studying any offense is really beneficial. So that's why I checked it out. And I mean, there's a lot of great concepts in the video about that. This is a great reminder of keep it simple yet sound. I don't believe in keep it simple, stupid. I think there's a point where you need to be sound, and ultimately coach does that with all his coaching points. So check it out if you want to just see, hey, a unique way of structuring a huddle. If you want a bunch of coaching points on rocket toss. And then lastly, you want some coaching points on vertical play action passing.
As always, guys, if you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Check me out and follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. And if you have anything that maybe requires a longer response, hit me up at coachbrienklee@gmail.com. Thanks as always for tuning in. See you again.